Welcome, everybody. This is our third podcast. It's different again. CJ's not here this time. We're just rolling with that theme where it's not going to be the usual podcast, I guess.
It's going to take a little bit to get back on
into
track.
the groove, yeah. I'm Miguel, your host, and I'm joined by a very special guest today, another member of Random Park. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Charles. I like to play instruments.
Mm-hmm. And again, I'm joined by the lovely Dylan.
Hi, Miguel. Hi, Charles.
Hi, Dylan.
Nice to meet you, Charles.
Nice to meet you.
So, since it's not the usual podcast, so I thought I'd start it unusually. And I thought I'd take advantage of the situation that we're in. We have an all-Latino cast.
Oh, we do.
And I thought that I would take the time today to appreciate one of the greatest films of all time, with my fellow Latinos.
Stand and Deliver.
Close.
Oh.
It's Nacho Libre.
Yes.
I want to talk about Nacho Libre for a little bit. It's not our main topic, but Jack Black is the greatest Mexican.
Wait, he's Mexican? Like, is he
Is Jack Black
No, not
Latino?
at all. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay,
because
okay.
he made that movie,
He
he's an
tricked us
honorary
all.
Mexican.
I can get down with
Yeah.
that.
The film it's a piece of art. Really.
Really, yeah.
It's one of the greatest comedies ever. It's one of the greatest romances ever.
I mean, the costume design is just really on point, you know?
Yeah, for sure. With
Yeah, they really got the whole luchador aesthetic down.
For sure.
Yeah.
And, Jack Black just plays the role really well. He embodies what it is to be a luchador.
Yeah, I aspire to be like Jack Black.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, because he's very musically talented.
Mm.
And he's a great actor.
Oh, yeah, he's Tenacious D.
Yeah. Like
Tenacious D.
Tenacious D.
Yeah, I mean, we can do a little go around, like what our favorite parts of that movie is. Charles, do you want to start us off?
All right. So, I think my favorite part is when he's at the party and Ramses is not dancing at the party. I mean, 'cause every time I think about Nacho Libre, like that's what pops into my head. I don't know. What about you, Dylan?
I really like the part where he's like, I wrote this song for Encarnacion.
Yeah.
And he's like, I used some grass to wipe my tears. That's probably my favorite part.
Yeah, that's a good part. I think my favorite part is when, Nacho Libre just got defeated and Esqueleto is trying to, comfort him. And he brings him some elote. He's like, get that corn out of my face.
Get that corn out of my face.
Dude. Oh my god. But, dude, elote is
Yeah,
pretty good.
Oh,
man.
dude. Elote with, like,
Dude,
some mayonesa.
Some crema,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Oh, and
Dude,
the,
hell
and
yeah.
the cheese. Ooh.
Ooh, and the
Little chile,
some tapatio or some Valentina.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh my, at Gulfland, we have this. Okay, it's like, I've only seen one,
Mhm.
but it's like a stuffed bottle of like tapatio. So it's like a plushie.
Yeah.
But it's tapatio. I don't
That's
think we're
pretty
ever
great.
going to sell it.
I'd buy one.
I mean, I
Or
think
10.
we used to sell them, but now like, it's out. We only have that one left.
Yeah, take it.
I might.
Yeah. Speaking of elote, when was the last time you guys had it?
Elote. It's been a while. I've been lacking.
Yeah.
Because there's elote
I
all
live
the
in a-
time in my neighborhood.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Oh, no. Sorry. I was going to say that I live in a really Hispanic dominated part of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So it isn't really hard for me to get a hold of those types of products, but it's not like where you guys live, where I used to live, where there's like the cart man, like the snack man.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called, but those people.
Eloteros, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, eloteros are.
I remember one of them got in trouble, like for being around.
Oak Grove?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, like, okay, my freshman year, I was waiting for my mom to pick me up in front of the school, and there was like an elotera,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was just like talking to her, and she gave me like a free raspado just like for chilling.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. she was telling me about this guy. Like, there was like competition, like a turf war on
Yeah.
these peloteros or
Oh,
something.
shit.
Dude, and this guy was stealing her business. Oh my god, I felt so bad. And I was like, nah, dude, that's messed up. Because, like, I guess she had a permit, but he didn't.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, but they were getting mad at her.
Huh.
It was like...
Oh, right. I think it was the guy that got in trouble.
Yeah.
For that exact same reason that he didn't have a permit. Yeah.
So maybe justice was served.
Yeah. I remember one of my friends we skipped class just to go over there, and this was like right near the end of like school, and so as we're walking, I see a car that looks familiar going down the road towards us. I was like, that kind of looks like my mom's car. And then she keeps going, and she looks at me, and she gives me this look like, what the hell are you doing? And I was just like, sorry.
Dude, the elote's too good.
It's too good.
But yeah. How have you guys been doing? Charles, if you want to start us off with that.
I don't know. I mean, lately, I've been just chilling, you know, it's work and school.
Mm-hmm.
I worked Thanksgiving yesterday. It was really
rough.
dead.
Oh, really?
Well, Gulfland, like,
Oh.
there was a group of like 10 guys that came in, and that was like it. They came in, they golfed, they left, and then it was pretty much quiet for the rest of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my supervisor like was cleaning the air hockey, like he took off like where the puck goes in, and like using all these chemicals and shit. But yeah, so we closed like 2 hours early.
Mm-hmm. Or how was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, I didn't really celebrate it. I mean, yeah, because on December 8th is when my family's going to celebrate it. We're going to go up to my aunt's house.
Okay.
Up near where San Francisco's at.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's going to be really good because my uncle makes some really good stuffing.
Okay.
It's like, he's got it on lock. He may not have like a girlfriend or like a wife or anything or no kids, but he can cook.
Damn. I mean, that's like an attraction right there.
Yeah, but he's like bald.
Oh. Damn, that cancels it out. Fuck.
Yeah.
Never mind. No offense to bald people.
Yeah, Mr. Worldwide, we love you, but...
Dale.
Oh my god.
Dylan, how have you been doing, and how was your Thanksgiving?
It's really good. My family, like my mom and stuff, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but I'm here with my fiance's family.
Mm-hmm.
And they celebrate it with enthusiasm. But her mom isn't here, so it was kind of my fiance and I's and her brother-in-law and her sister. Well, not her sister. It was our responsibility to like make all of the food. So her brother-in-law made he made the turkey, and then we made all of the side dishes.
Yeah.
And then, that took like 6 hours, and we only ate for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Shit.
Was it worth it? No.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we went Black Friday shopping, so it was kind of worth it.
Yeah. Give us about an hour.
All right.
Yeah. I was like, I was hearing things, and I was like, why does it sound like there's kids outside?
Do you know who they, like...
Those are my nephews.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was confused. I was like, who are the small children?
Yeah. You didn't see him before when you came in.
No.
Yeah.
I thought I was about to get punked. My action coach is going to come out of nowhere, like, surprise.
Yeah.
The title of the podcast should be like, Miguel's Secret Children?
Yeah, right? Jesus.
Yeah, so where do you keep them? Like, in the basement?
There's a little room before you
R.
come
Kelly
to the
style.
garage. It's like a little door. I don't know if you
Oh,
noticed
like,
it.
on the other side of the
It's
bathroom?
like Harry Potter's.
Oh, yeah.
Like a little
Underneath the
thing.
stairs?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Almost exactly like Harry Potter. Just a lot smaller. That's where I keep them.
Okay. Wait, so back to Thanksgiving.
Right.
So 6 hours of cooking and 30 minutes eating, and it wasn't worth it?
No, it wasn't worth it. I mean, my brother-in-law made really good turkey, like probably the best turkey I've ever had. But I don't know, turkey is kind of like, I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't really like Thanksgiving, despite how good this Thanksgiving dinner was.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, wow, I was on my feet making, bacon wrapped asparagus and mashed potatoes for 6 hours. So,
Asparagus.
is it worth it? No. Oh yeah, it was pretty good. It's like asparagus wrapped in bacon with like brown sugar on it. Sounds really weird, but it's delicious.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Man, my Thanksgivings have been kind of like unconventional.
Mm.
Like my dad would make fried rice.
What?
Yeah, because like he's super Chinese, but he doesn't speak Chinese. So like he learned how to make fried rice, and like it's pretty good.
Oh, damn. I mean, I won't say no to fried rice.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, so if nobody's gonna ask me how mine was, we'll just
Oh, we always
skip
forget.
it.
I'm sorry,
Whatever.
Miguel. How was your Thanksgiving? Oh my god.
Yeah, what'd you do?
It was pretty good. There's a lot of people and a lot of food. Something I didn't know about is that we also celebrated my aunt's birthday yesterday.
Oh, you're just
So it was a little weird.
you get her a present?
No.
No, just no present. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
We kind of there's tension between our families because before they used to host family reunions, and it didn't last very long because what she wanted to do was charge each family member $20
Oh my
into
god.
the family reunion.
What?
And so everybody ended up voting to host it at our house for now on.
For free?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. Yeah, so there's tension.
Damn. You can't stop that entrepreneurial
Yeah.
mindset,
Yeah.
man.
And
She's
despite
on that grind.
Yeah, despite that, she can cook a pretty mean ham.
Well, your aunt?
Mhm.
Yeah.
She can-
Oh,
some
dude,
good
that ham is hella good.
Oh, she goes ham on the ham.
She goes ham on the ham. That's right.
She go ham. She go in on the ham.
It was pretty good. There was a dog.
The dog?
Yeah, my cousins brought a dog.
It's like a hot dog?
No, like an actual dog.
Okay.
Um,
Oh,
we talked about very traumatizing stories about our childhood, so I'm very thankful for that.
For the stories or like
For
that
the
you shared
trauma.
them?
The embarrassment
Oh,
of those
okay.
stories. God, like we talked about how big I used to be as a boy.
Oh, you used to be a big boy?
I used to be a big boy. I was
Like-
I was a thick boy.
Like my kind of thick boy?
I
Or
was
like,
thicker.
oh, you were thicker
I was
than me?
hella thick.
Oh my god.
I used to have to wear I used to have to wear elastic pants with the band out
Oh my
so it could be extra bigger.
dude, you were like
You're a
someone
thick
like you were
queen.
like this,
Yeah, it
right?
was.
And then someone just took like the arrow thing and they stretched you upwards.
Yeah, I used to fit the image of a stereotypical Mexican a lot more when I was younger. Just this chubby, short.
Just like
Super
a
brown.
chubby kid.
Yeah.
Did you ever have like silver teeth?
I did actually.
Oh, my
like,
god.
Yeah, I had
like
a-
fillings?
Yeah, I had fillings and then I got them out as soon as I got
Yeah.
my braces.
Like caps? Like did you have caps?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I did.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ew.
So I was I was that boy.
Kema no kema ka?
Yeah, my Thanksgiving was pretty good. A lot of food. Food was hella good.
Mm.
I like turkey. However, I can't get over how dry it is.
Oh yeah.
Like,
The turkey that I had this year was pretty good actually.
yeah. I just
Yep.
I want to really
It's
like
like
it, but every time I put it
sandpaper.
in my mouth, it like sucks the moisture out of my
Yeah.
mouth. So I'm like it's the worst. So I have to like dip it in something like gravy or
Yeah,
mashed potatoes.
I think that's why gravy was invented. They were like, man, this turkey too damn dry.
Yeah.
Need some gravy up in here.
It's like put some wine on like turkey or something.
What?
Yeah, you're supposed to baste it. I think a lot of people forget to do that.
Yeah.
Like every 30 minutes you have to baste it and it's cooking for 3 hours.
So it's like 6 bastes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 total 6 base.
That's twice as many as baseball has.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
We also had some pretty untraditional foods. My mom made tamales.
Mm.
These green sauce with cheese, and they're pretty bomb. If you want, you can take some home because we have a fuck ton still.
Please.
Yeah. And then she also made pozole.
Oh, dude, whenever
my
my mom makes pozole,
God.
we eat it for like a whole week.
Yeah,
Like she
'cause-
gets like the big pot.
That's the
yeah,
rule, yeah.
The pot was like that big.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ, who's that gonna feed?
A small village in Africa
Yeah.
for 6 weeks.
I'd rather eat pozole and only pozole for the rest of my life than eat like Thanksgiving dinner again.
See, I like
Like the next
Thanksgiving
day.
food too much. Like,
Yeah.
I love stuffing. I love cranberry sauce. I love turkey. I love ham. I love just everything. And then, like, when you have leftovers, you can just make Thanksgiving sandwiches. Where you just combine everything together and eat it.
Dude, that's the best part. You
That just doesn't sound appealing to me.
Really? Oh.
I am anti-Thanksgiving.
But, like, all that stuff in the turkey. Dude, you get to experience Thanksgiving all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Without all the embarrassing child stories.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's the worst. Yeah. Now that we've gotten Thanksgiving out of the way,
Fuck Thanksgiving.
yeah, fuck Thanksgiving. We can move on to our main topic,
Right.
which is it's kind of reminiscent of what we talked about last time. It has to do with space.
The final
Sort
frontier.
of, yeah, the final frontier. And that's, multiverse theory, and
Oh shit.
it's weird, like how we went from talking about Thanksgiving to talking about this grand thing that
Yeah.
just it's theoretical and stuff.
So speaking of dry ass turkey,
Yeah.
y'all believe in bubble universes?
Oh my god.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about how that stuff works. Like, we have a lot of examples of it, like whether it be in media, or like movies or comics or just
Mhm.
anything. But in these worlds, there are branches of universes that happen for specific moments in time, and
Mhm.
I've always wondered what constitutes a moment so important that a branch happens, because
Oh, okay.
like in Endgame, I guess, because have you seen it, Dylan?
Yeah, spoilers.
Okay, yeah, spoilers. We're gonna talk about Endgame for a little bit.
Look,
Charles,
it's
you
been
seen
out.
it?
Yeah, it's been out for like half a year.
Yeah,
or
it's
what?
been out
Yeah, but
for
like,
a while.
get
So,
over it. Like,
If
you
you
haven't
seen
watched
the
it by
biggest
now.
movie in the world, that's on you.
Yeah.
But in Endgame, when they go back to New York in the past, Hulk is talking to the bald lady, and she shows him how removing the stone from that timeline creates a branch. That's an obviously important moment. The time stone
Mhm.
is something that's very important to that universe, and
Yeah.
taking it out can cause serious consequences. But does that happen for just anything? Like, let's say, for example, I pick up this bottle of water,
Yeah.
right? In another universe, I might not. In another universe,
Right.
I might throw it, right?
Yeah.
How does that work? Doesn't the universe just become too complex at that point?
I feel like that's part of like the mystery of it. It's like, how complex can it get?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
something like picking up a water bottle and putting it back down has no real like consequence other
Right.
than I didn't drink the water just now.
Right.
But then like
But if you
After
pour
that.
the water all over the studio set, then it might constitute something else. I think it's mostly about like the effect
Mhm.
of what your action constitutes.
Sure.
Like, maybe something as small as picking up the water bottle isn't as important, but let's say us deciding to not do this podcast might do
Sure.
something else.
Yeah.
Or if you think even bigger than that, if, let's say, what would life be like if one of us didn't exist? Or if one of our if our families didn't exist at all,
yeah, and like we were just like popped into existence. We had no mom or dad.
Sure.
Like, how different
Yeah.
would your life be?
Right. Because I remember, I think it was in middle school, maybe, or high school. I read a short story about, it was essentially the butterfly effect, where a company sets up, and this is actually going to help segue into another thing that I want to talk about, which is time travel. This company capitalizes upon time travel, and they go back to certain points in time, and I can't remember if it's to hunt, because they go back to the time when dinosaurs were around,
Oh, okay.
whether it be the Jurassic period or Triassic period, or whatever.
Yeah.
But they go back in time for that purpose, and I can't remember whether it's to hunt or just to see things. But they have these scouts that go out, and you have to follow their path, and you have to do exactly what they say. And this one guy, he ends up going on the trip, and he makes one wrong step, and he ends up killing a butterfly.
I think I've seen this one.
Yeah, and when he goes back in time, there's these. The world is just, I think, in disorder. Like, there's serious consequences for stepping on this one butterfly.
Yeah.
Right.
And you think, oh, it's just a butterfly. Like, what is that going to change? But it says that butterfly was carrying DNA, and then where it died, it causes domino effect of decisions or events that would lead to what we had or they had at that time, which was this prosperous, nation, and just and it changes that, and that sort of the parallels between that and Endgame, like we have this serious thing of the time stone being taken out of that time and affecting it, but then you have the
like a little butterfly.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's just it's kind of mind-boggling, and it's hard to get your mind around.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't know. I think it's supposed to. That's why it's a theory, because it's like a paradox. Like you can't possibly not step on a single ant because that ant might be carrying the cure for cancer in one multiverse or whatever.
Sure.
But it's like, have you guys ever seen Man in the White Castle?
Yes, I love that show.
I don't think I've seen
Yeah,
that.
where like, what if we lost the World War II?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I think Man in the White Castle is about something else. But like that premise, like, what if we lost World War II? What would our life be like now? I think it has. I feel that as an average person, I feel like multiverse theory branches only happen when something big is decided, where it's 50, it could go one way or another, not multiple ways.
Sure.
But that whole, like, the butterfly effect, like that movie with Ashton Kutcher, like, one thing happened and it changed his whole life.
Yeah. That's actually the reason why I want to talk about it, because I ended up finishing Man in the High Castle.
Okay.
And they delve into that quite a lot in the second and third season.
Okay, but like what makes like one event like
more important than another?
Yeah, more significant, like the butterfly, right?
Yeah,
like it's just a butterfly, but then like Germany winning World War II, that's like a much bigger event in history. It's more well known.
Yeah.
But like, so what, like?
And I feel like the consequences for that would be a lot more dire than just like
I think it's just about high consequence.
I feel like the consequences would change much more drastically, because, well, not drastically, more like quickly in time. Like, because the butterfly took like a long time, right, just to get to that point. But if Germany wins World War II, then that's like almost immediate. They take over, they start doing whatever they do.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever watched, I think it's called like Looper? It has like Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah,
and
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Jason Gordon-Levitt. Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but
Which,
I know the premise of the movie.
It's like, well, to segue into time travel, if you wanted to.
Yeah, go ahead.
He is like a time travel assassin, where he has like a specific field where he expects people who are sent back in time to that specific field, and he shoots them and kills them. He's like an assassin or a hitman or whatever. Right. But one day, he in the future is sent to be killed by he in the past.
Right.
Oh. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And pretty much he stops because he's like, what the fuck? Like, why am I here? Like, what did I do to warrant me getting sent by my own company to get assassinated by myself? So it's like time travel, I feel like, is a lot more complicated than multiverse, because time travel warrants multiverses.
Right. Because you could essentially just send scouts to different points in time to observe how things are transpiring in order to change the outcome of your future. Because well, I don't even know if like Because wouldn't traveling forward in time already change something? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't
You
know.
what mean?
I feel like traveling forward in time would be a lot harder than traveling back in time.
Sure.
Yeah, like that concept to me of like I feel like it's much easier to grasp the concept of traveling back in time because
Mhm.
the past has already happened.
Right.
But to travel
Right.
forward in time, it's like what would even happen? Like what
Would even be?
where would you come
know?
out?
Yeah.
What would be going on? Like there's so much
Yeah,
stuff.
because we have all of these estimations of what Earth will be in the next 20 years, you know, with whether you believe it or not, climate change and stuff like that. So it's like, would it, I mean, now in 2019, in this universe, in this multiverse, would you even want to travel forward in time? Because would Earth even be habitable
Sure.
then
Oh, yeah, like
to your body
you
now?
would come out of time travel and just instantly die.
Yeah.
Yeah, just.
Yeah. Oh my God, that'd be so weird.
Right?
Like, you travel forward X amount of years, and you just end up in some sort of crater,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Where
Yeah.
the hell am I?" And you just
Yeah,
die.
or
because-
some like barren desert.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like a way you can control what like let's say you change something, right?
Mhm.
If there's a way to control the effect that has. Like let's say like you assassinate someone, right? And then
Okay.
all of a sudden global warming just isn't an issue.
Sure.
Like
Oh, like is X tied to Y?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
like is it random or is it like a set thing, you know?
Yeah. Like, would you have to, if the FBI is listening, I'm not actually thinking of doing this, but would you have to murder a specific climate scientist or a specific person higher up for climate change and the destruction of Earth not to happen?
Yeah. Huh.
Hmm.
Yeah, because that would essentially.
yeah.
Well, that's I think that's also the fucked up thing about time travel and multiverse theory, is that changing your future fucks up a different world,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you might save your world, but another world is fucked because
Yeah.
they go down the path that you were originally supposed to.
Exactly. So if it's like, let's say instead of murdering like a scientist, we murdered the highest grossing like fossil fuel producer. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? And you know, they die. So let's say, you know, let's go from A to Z. They die. So the company closes. So no more fossil fuel. But what if that has a bad
Sure.
effect?
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword.
What if
Yeah.
so what if that guy dies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then someone else even more like messed up takes over.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And then global warming
Yeah.
happens even faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like
God,
this is so like
that's just awful.
right?
Like,
There's so many ways time travel can go wrong.
and that I think that perfectly transitions into the main thing I want to talk about, time travel, which is if time travel did come, if someone built a time machine or whatever, how would that be restricted, and like who would have access to it, and or how would it be capitalized upon?
Do we need
Oh.
like time police?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the vegan police in Scott Pilgrim.
Oh my god. Oh wait, no, it's like the Speed Force in the Flash. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
like it like comes after him if you mess with the timeline.
yeah. The black racer.
Yeah, what if there's
Yeah.
something like that?
Oh shit,
Like,
that'd be terrifying.
I know, but then you wouldn't mess with time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got a point. God,
Dude, we need like some otherworldly being just to
Yeah.
police time travel, and then like taking credit for time travel. I mean, you could just like take a time machine back to earlier than someone announced it and be like, "Hey guys, look what I made."
that's. Oh.
Yeah, because like people wouldn't want other people to capitalize on, let's say, like sports bidding,
Right.
like in
Yeah.
Back to the Future,
It's too dangerous.
right? Because like I mean, let's just say that everything has a cause and effect, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what would that warrant? And I think maybe there would be a bunch of restrictions, like you can't change major events, you can't change like sporting events, like serious like time changing events, like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks and shit like that, you
Sure.
know?
Yeah. that reminds me of a show I watched on I think it was
Hulu? Yeah, James Franco?
Yes.
Yeah.
11/22/63.
Yes.
Where
Oh my god.
James Franco is recruited by this man to go back in time to save JFK. However, every move he makes to saving JFK, the world sort of interferes. So like the world knows that he's trying to change this major event, and like lights will just be falling from the ceiling in order to try to kill him, and so he has to be like super cautious about what he does. And it's just it's so weird. Turn on the heater.
Okay. Well, okay, yeah. And then he recruits somebody, doesn't he? Or like he gets like a partner?
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but he ends up convincing him, and the poor guy. It's the most fucked up thing that happens to him. So he recruits him. He ends up convincing him that he is from the future because he's able to predict all these events, and like I think he ends up saving his sister or something like that. Or he kills the murderer of his sister, because this one guy.
Yeah.
Like he went to go get revenge, and he's like, okay, well, I need to convince you of this. He does convince him. He ends up taking him to Texas. Ends up taking him to Texas because they know that JFK is going to be there for the motorcade when they first arrive. They know that's where he's going to be assassinated. And who's the guy? The guy ends up falling in love with the wife of Lee Harvey Oswald.
The guy who's supposed to kill JFK.
Yeah, the guy who's supposed to kill JFK. And then he kind of fucks everything up because he befriends this guy, and he's like, oh, well, he's not a bad guy. So he himself tries to convince Lee Harvey Oswald.
Dude, that's the world trying to get in his way again.
It's
crazy.
James Franco ends up putting him in a mental hospital because he convinces the people that work at the mental hospital that, you know, he's a time traveler or whatever, and that he's there to stop the assassination of JFK, and so they think he's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Which like any rational person would. And like the poor guy ends up killing himself because like he just they put him through like electroshock therapy.
Oh man.
And it's the worst. But that show is
dude, it's good.
Yeah, it really is.
But like, what was the effect when he came back?
Oh, right, because I think he stops it.
Yeah, and
he
he's
goes
like,
back,
mission accomplished, goes back.
And then the world ends up being this dystopian future. Because I think they go through like nuclear war or something like that.
Damn.
Like I guess I don't know if it would happen, but what they imply is that JFK still being alive expedites nuclear war between Russia and the U.S. and I guess Cuba and any other nation that has nuclear weapons.
So we all just kill each other.
Yeah, essentially.
That sucks.
And so he has to go back in time.
Yeah.
And let everything, run its course. Like he can't stop the assassination of JFK.
Yeah, it's just like that argument where it's like, if you could go back in time, would you kill baby Hitler?
Right.
No, it wouldn't change anything because those ideals were already out.
Right.
Somebody would have done it.
And it could have been someone even more like radical.
Well, right, Hitler wasn't the only fascist leader at that time. There was Mussolini, there was what was his name? I had a
old guy, beard.
He was a Spanish dude. I don't remember his name.
Senor Doomsday Man.
Yeah, sure. We'll say that was his name. But yeah, there's that Spanish guy, and then even like the Russians. Stalin was by no means a good guy. He imprisoned his own son and didn't give a fuck.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we killed baby Hitler, it more likely than not, it would have probably been a lot worse. Yeah. Which is saying a lot.
Yeah, right? Because things were already pretty shitty. Yeah. What was happening in Europe at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would people be allowed to use like going into the past to change things? And like if they knew it was going to be good, the effect would be good. Would you be okay with that, or would you be like, no, let time run its course?
Well, I think.
I think
Go ahead,
that.
Dylan.
Oh,
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, you're good.
No.
You're
Go
good.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that time travel will probably be utilized. Would, if this was real, it would probably be utilized more as like, tourist, like touristy, where people just go back in time and they're just like chilling in the past, instead of like this, serious thing that we're thinking about, because as human beings in this, dimension right now in this multiverse, we're very capitalistic and we're very, like, what, like not corporate, but it's very
Consumeristic.
we love novelty.
Sure.
Like in Japan, they have merch and merchandise for everything. So what's stopping us from using a tool like time travel to just be like, oh, spend your month in the 60s,
Sure. Yeah, like a vacation or something.
Yeah, like a vacation.
But wouldn't there have to be like a certain amount of isolation?
Well, right. Yeah, I think I talked to this about with CJ for a bit, and he mentioned that like there would have to be a protective system in place to keep people from interfering. Like there'd have to be a room or something where it's like a one-way mirror. You can see out of it, but people can't see in it.
Yeah, it would be like similar to like the Truman Show, how there was like he lived his whole life in that like little dome, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be like, oh, spend a week in the 60s, right? And you just go to that dome, and like that would be it.
Oh, I don't know. I was
Then at that
thinking more
point-
like you have this set of rules and you can't break this set of rules. Because, like, let's say you're on, like, a party boat in the 60s in Louisiana. Like, what effect really would that do if you, drop the glass or something?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I think
Go ahead.
it would be, like, people can't go to, like, the same place where JFK was shot. Or, like, there would have to be restrictions somehow so that we wouldn't alter, what we have now.
The course of time, yeah.
Yeah.
Like they'd have to integrate people into the world, right? Like they'd have to have agent. Like let's say the government, they had access to this technology. They'd have to implement agents into the world who integrate into society and act as if they're part of that era, and they sort of watch over people who come in to that era.
Oh, like secret, like undercover, like everyone has a tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like that. Like, I don't know. I mean, ideally, it would just be like, oh, this is my family member, but he's actually like a Secret Service time cop.
Right.
That way, nobody suspects anything.
It'd be cool as job.
Yeah.
Time
Dude.
cop.
What if like, let's say you go back 20 years, right?
Mhm.
You change something, but like, timeline would just reset to normal. Like every time someone time travels, like to the farthest back it's been. So someone goes like 10 years back, and they change something, and then you go like 20 years back, right? And you don't have to do anything. You just show up and then you go back to reset the timeline. Do you think like that would be possible? Or I mean, time travel. It's like kind of like a weird thing.
Well, right. That's
Oh.
almost exactly how it happens in 11/22/63.
Yeah.
Like
'cause
he exits and he goes back, and everything is
just reset.
right. Everything
Oh,
like
that's smart.
there's these. So Dylan, you haven't seen the show, right?
It's like a
No.
checkpoint.
Yeah, exactly. The checkpoint or time portal, if you will, is in a cafe or a diner. It's a diner, and it's in a specific location in that diner. And when you go through it, it drops you at a specific point in time, and when you exit out of it and go back to your regular time and then go back in, it does the exact same thing. It's almost like a reset button.
That's really smart.
So like, I don't know if it would work that way.
I think that's probably the most inconsequential way to do it.
Right. Because obviously, he goes back and fixes everything just by resetting everything.
Yeah, but it's also like one person would be the only person allowed to time travel at a time. You can't have. I don't think it would be smart to have like multiple checkpoints. Because then, like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, because if you have one checkpoint earlier than another one, if you go back to the farthest back checkpoint, it might completely mess up like the checkpoint that comes like 10 years down the road.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
So it'd be like one checkpoint, one person.
Yeah. So I don't think that checkpoint thing would work.
Yeah, maybe not.
if we're talking about how we would capitalize on it. And also, what kind of people in what class would be able to capitalize on it?
Right.
Would it be like a rich people thing, or would it be like an every person thing?
Well, like, I think that also depends on like what is allowed in that time period. Like, if it's like a vacation thing, I'd imagine like the majority of people who are relatively well off can, participate in that. But
Right.
like if it's, I don't know, because
Yeah,
it's definitely dangerous.
it's dangerous.
So the government or whoever's controlling it would want to minimize any sort of
the use, yeah.
yeah. So I really don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't want. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, like you wouldn't want just every single person to have like a time travel portal in their house,
Right.
Yeah.
because then that would be a lot of cleaning up to do.
I feel like just having it for recreational use creates too much possibility for error.
Mm-hmm.
And so whoever
Yeah, too many
discovers it
branches.
Yeah.
probably
yeah.
would just, like keep it very private. Unless they want to make money off of it, then they would, exploit it. Feel like,
Well, you can exploit it with just making it really expensive, like $10 million
Sure.
a visit,
I think
Ooh,
there will
that's
also be
terrible.
conflict amongst other countries.
Class.
Like, let's say there are checkpoints
definitely.
in different parts of the world. Each checkpoint can be used by the citizens or the government of that specific country, right?
Right.
It'd be kind of like a Cold War thing. Like, we have these weapons, these checkpoints that we can go through time and alter history. Like, everybody has one, but we won't use them because we don't know the consequences.
Yeah.
Right. There'd have to be a lot of restrictions, like you can't go out of the country if you go in the past.
Mhm.
Like you can't do, X, Y, and Z. And maybe we're talking about the past, like we haven't even touched on like going forward in the future.
Yeah.
Like what would that even entail?
I feel like that just wouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, the future? No,
Because
you
it's
can't
like
do that.
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Or it's like, I feel like time travelers should have some sort of like marking
Mhm.
if we're going into the future, so that people like know, like, okay, so this person's from the
Yeah.
past. Don't mess with them.
Right.
They're just here to like observe or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that would be really smart. Like or like a passport type situation.
Because if you're going to the future, this technology is already established.
Yeah, and so people know
Yeah.
to look out for these things.
Right. Oh, that does
But
it.
if you go in the past and you pull out like a cell phone with a specific
God.
marking on it,
They
people would
think
be like,
you're a witch.
witchcraft. You're a witch.
What is this witchcraft?
Yeah.
Unless we restrict time travel to be like, let's say time travel was discovered in 2019, right? And so from that point on, as time goes on, you can only travel back up to 2019
Right.
because that's when we know that time travel exists.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that would be
right.
a safeguard for like the timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like going back in time, there are so many specific
It's
points
too
in time
risky.
that, like, there are so many in the short span of human history. There are these points where humanity has just moved forward and revolutionized so many things that it's like, okay,
Yeah.
this is dangerous because we might lose this technology. So you can't go back to these times. You can only
Yeah.
go to specific points, and then you can also go forward in time.
Yeah. Can you imagine going like on a cruise ship, but it's like a time travel?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Whoa, that's sick.
That'd be sick.
Like,
But it's only like in the future. Like you can only go to the future.
yeah.
That's hot.
You can imagine you can like start up that company, get your time machine going, and then immediately start going, because in the future it's where you're gonna build all the vacation spots in the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you could just teleport everybody on. Like, as long as you actually build a ship in the future, you have like a cruise ship for
Yeah.
time space.
Yeah. Honestly, thinking about going to the future is a lot more exciting than going to the past.
It's because there's not like nothing concrete. You could do whatever you want.
Sure.
Exactly. That'd be cool. Yeah. Just take like you'd have to have like a time traveling portal or mechanism in the middle of the ocean or something, or in the air, so you could take like an airplane to the future.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, isn't there like the international dateline? Like, I remember there's an episode of The Sweet Life was like on deck, and they go across the international dateline and they travel like to the day before.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, some shit like that.
Jesus.
No,
That's so weird. Time now is weird.
Oh yeah, for sure.
well, yeah,
We're in an interesting time.
like nothing makes sense. Not even the English language. Like rough and through. They're supposed to rhyme, but they don't.
Jesus. Yeah. I mean, I just think the prospect of time travel is super interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to do that.
Have you guys seen those pictures of like people who are suspected to be time travelers because of the way that
Yeah.
people
There's
are like
There's
interacting with
this one
them?
specific photo that really comes to mind. Is this one dude? He's like wearing these sunglasses, and he's got this like.
Yeah, he's like
jacket
wearing
on.
a sunglasses, a cardigan,
Yeah.
like the graphic T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And the guy behind him is like, "What the
He's
fuck?
like, what is that wearing?
What an idiot!"
These young kids.
Yeah,
Or,
I
like-
saw one. It was like a woman, and she was like talking on a cell phone, but it was like very obviously in the '60s, and it was like a razor,
Huh.
or like razor-esque.
Weird.
It's
Yeah.
like, I forgot what I was gonna say. Nah, I lost it.
Okay. There's also that theory of like all these actors being time travelers, like Keanu Reeves. Like, he's, like,
Yeah,
as old as time
and
or
like
some shit.
Shakespeare and stuff.
I would explain his haircut, man.
Yeah.
He's just so wise. Like,
It's like
Oh,
he is
okay.
Jesus.
I got it. It's the Mandela effect.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of the Mandela
Yeah,
effect?
where
Yeah.
you remember things a certain way and they're actually different.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking Target sign. I always remember there being like 3 circles or whatever.
It's probably because you think of like the white
It's just branding.
negative space in
Yeah.
there. Yeah, but so like, could that be time travelers? Does time travel already exist, or does it get invented in the future? But they've traveled like past us
Mm-hmm.
into the past, and so now they've changed all these things that we remember.
Like the Berenstein Bears. The
Yeah.
Berenstein or some shit.
Bernstein.
Yeah.
I don't know. You
Steiner.
guys ever think about how for the Berenstein Bears we just like didn't know how to read right just yet?
Is that okay? Is the Berenstein Bear just the one where there's a little brother bear and a little sister bear, and then the mom?
Yeah, it's
and
like a
papa
family
bear?
of bears.
The bear show I remember is that We Bear Bears.
I never watched that.
I mean, I watched it when I was like, just like, I had all my background noise, but sometimes I'd pay attention to it,
Mm-hmm.
and dude, like the little 3 bears, so cute.
They do look pretty cute. One thing isn't one a panda?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a grizzly bear,
Fuck yeah.
a panda, and a polar bear.
Hell yeah.
Dude, the polar bear's called Ice Bear. And he's like super.
That's
cool.
hard. He's a whole
Oh
unit.
yeah.
Yeah, he's like Ice Bear. Like he talks about himself in the third person, so he's like, Ice Bear's going to kick your ass.
Okay, so is that all on our time travel multiverse?
No, that's rewinding time.
Yeah. Is that all on our time travel multiverse theory topic, or do you guys want to add something?
I don't have anything else.
Dylan?
I don't know. If I was a time traveler, I'd probably pick like the most prevalent parts in human
You'd probably
history, just to be like pick the most like prevalent parts of human history, just like, you know, all of the war riots in the 60s and all of the like shit that's like
I think you're
romanticized
cutting
now. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now. I think you were cutting out for a
That's
bit.
weird. Oh, sorry. I was saying that I would go to all of the like romanticized parts of human history, like the Renaissance and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. The 50s.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Romanticism.
think I would travel to the future just because like I feel like my body wouldn't be able to sustain that.
Yeah.
Like obviously we're gonna have to like. I mean we're evolving, so my 2019 body couldn't possibly survive in 2132. You know.
Oh yeah, because there's all like new like bacteria and stuff you
Yeah.
can watch out for.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Or I have
too.
old bacteria, and then I would give it
Yeah.
to
Oh my
these people in
God.
the future.
Oh wait, and
That'd be
if we go-
terrible.
yeah, and if we go back in time, like all the stuff that's evolved from us, like all our bacteria is gonna mess up. It's
Yeah.
gonna be like the freaking the
Because
blankets
we have
all
so
over
many
again.
new diseases.
Yeah, like cancer.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Okay,
Get
so
outta here.
to finish
Dude,
it
okay,
off,
wait, okay. When I was in like elementary
time
school,
travel is bad.
I thought cancer was like a new thing.
Oh my
I
God.
was like, dude, this is terrible. We need to do
Nobody's
something
ever had
about
cancer
it.
until 2019.
Oh, I actually have one more question, or like two more, I guess. So one is, if you guys could go back and like just observe any like historical event, what would it be? And two, if you guys could go back in time and just like mess around with no consequences, what would be the first thing you do?
Dylan, you want to start off?
Sure. I think if to like go and mess around, I think I would go to the Library of Alexandria before Alexander the Great burned it down, just to like see what they were doing. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
No.
So it's like the library, or I could get it wrong because it's like the library of, and then it's like a country or like a place. But pretty much like Alexander the Great like burned it down, and it's said to have, if it had not burned down, we would have been like 1,000 years in the future technology wise.
Shit.
Damn.
Yeah, so I just like, I wouldn't obviously understand any of what is in the library, but I would just be like looking, just be like, holy shit, you know? A place where I would go back in time just to observe is tricky because like I'm a person of color. And I would have to have like a serious disguise
You could
because
just
I'm
be,
like
like-
bald and tattooed.
Like a fly on the wall.
Yeah. I think I'd go to like maybe like the 80s or like the 90s.
Okay.
I just feel like people just had more fun back then.
Sure.
And
All that cocaine.
there was stuff that there was already stuff that I knew of, like that I know of now, like cars and phones and shit. But if I went any more back, I feel like I would be bored and like understimulated.
Sure.
What about you, Miguel?
To have fun, I think. I don't know. Or like, can I be hurt?
Let's
No consequences, absolutely no consequences.
Mode.
Oh fuck yeah!
Do whatever
dude.
you want.
Just play blocks everywhere.
Yeah.
Fuck shit up.
You fly.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Punch Shakespeare in the face.
Huh. Damn. I think I'd go back to World War II maybe.
Yeah.
Just observe it all. 'Cause
Okay.
I think just that'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
Like in America or in Germany?
Well,
or-
like all over the world. I think I'd probably go to each
yeah.
country of interest in
Yeah.
the.
Just to
World War II.
see like how shitty it was, because like obviously documentaries and pieces of history always like, oh, everybody was on their grind and they were all doing shit, but like was it really like that all over the country?
Right.
I think if I were to go back and like witness something, I'd want to see the Big Bang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
God
I think that'd
damn.
be pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn. They're like, we want to see some cool stuff. You're like, oh, I want to see the creation of the fucking universe. It's like, okay, dude,
Well, yeah, because like think about
don't
it,
show
man.
us up, all right?
No, just like there's like complete black, like dark,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden just.
Well, that also like brings up the question, like, was the Big Bang in an instant, or was it just like,
Is it still
you
happening?
know, over time?
Well, right, because the universe is ever expanding, right?
Yeah.
So maybe the Big Bang is happening in a different part of the universe that's currently being created.
Wow.
Oh, okay. And then if I were to
That's
just
deep.
like to go back and mess around and go like to the first moon landing, and then just like while it's like landing on the moon, just like push it away.
That's awful.
Oh, there's no consequences.
You're just like chilling there on the moon, like waiting for them to land,
why
and
is
then
there a
they never
guy out
do, and
there?
you're like,
You're like, there's an alien on the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine like all the panic that would cause? Like Houston, we have like. Oh no,
I think for
Houston, we have a dude.
Yeah.
Houston, there's an illegal here.
I think for my serious one, I'd probably go back to the signing of the Constitution.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like I'd really
Jeez.
just love to see all
I
of
just
them.
want to party.
I mean, the smell would probably be terrible.
Oh
Because
yeah.
none of them showered at all.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, huh?
Oh yeah, because they were just in that like hot room.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So I'd be like thrilled, but I'd also be nauseous at the fact that the smell is so overwhelming.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, if I were just to like have fun though, I'd probably go back to like Japan
Mm-hmm.
and like just go to the mountains because that's where all the street races are, dude.
Uh-huh.
It's like, hey bro, let me hop in your car real fast. Skirt.
Tokyo Drift and shit.
Yeah, Fast and Furious.
I love that movie.
Dude, it's a good movie.
It's the best movie. Best fan.
I watch
Fast
that
and
movie
Furious
every
one.
night before I go to sleep.
Oh really?
No.
It's a ritual.
Yeah.
Light a
It's my-
candle.
It's my religion.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel, I love you.
Yeah. I don't even use gas. I just use Vin Diesel in my cars.
All right, everybody. That's the end of the podcast. Anyone shitty joke? No. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I think we're coming near the end.
Dude, my feet are cold.
Okay, but for reals though, like without, like no bullshit, I probably want to go back to like the Renaissance because everyone's like, oh my god, it was so beautiful and everything was so
Lord.
romantic. But I'm like, y'all, they had no indoor plumbing. Like they just dumped shit on the floor.
Oh my god.
They had aqueducts.
They just like pop
That's
a squat
something.
where they're standing. Like, pardon me, I need to go to the bathroom, and then just like lift up.
Like
their
I'm sure it
skirt.
was romantic and everybody loved each other and they're like, oh Shakespeare, whatever. But I'm sure it smelled like shit. Everybody had fucking, what is it? Tuberculosis.
Yeah.
Nobody was over the age of 40.
I love how everybody was like, oh, these noble savages, they're so primitive. And then they'd fucking, like, a few seconds later, they'd fling their shit out of the window or something. It's like, okay.
Or like, oh my god! Like,
Something
have you
monkey
guys
would
heard of
do.
the
Yeah.
original like duvet or is it called a bidet?
Uh-huh.
Like the original bidet was just like a tub
dude.
of water and like a rag.
In a tub.
Yeah.
No, wait, the original bidet was just like some guy like sitting there, like spitting
Like
water.
squirting water from
Oh
his
my-
mouth.
Ew. Bro. You'd have to have perfect aim.
Oh my
Oh
gosh!
my god.
But other than that, I have nothing else to say. I hate the Renaissance.
Yeah, fuck
is
art.
what I'm trying to say. Fuck art.
Fuck all
Fuck
the
art.
Ninja
Fuck
Turtles.
Thanksgiving. That's the podcast.
that's interesting, Miguel.
Yeah, I mean, Leonardo.
I don't know. You
Donatello.
swing that way.
Yeah. I'm into the turtles. Their heart shells get me on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just like trip Michelangelo while he's painting the Sistine Chapel because he had
push
to
his
go
ladder.
on like a big scaffold or whatever to paint like the roof of it or whatever. I just like push it lightly and then run away.
Or like take Picasso and like make all his knives really dull so he can't chop off his ear.
That was Van Gogh.
Oh, Van Gogh. Oh my god. Like, see, I need to go back and realize who these people are.
Picasso.
Hey, dude, I don't know.
Hey, do you remember that ginger Picasso?
What?
No, I had the same like confusion on the trip to where I am now. My fiance was like, "Who's that guy who painted the night sky?" And I was like, "I'm pretty sure it was Picasso."
Jeez. Yep, no. Starry Night.
And
was
she
by Van
believed
Gogh.
me, so who's the dumbass?
Damn.
It's like, yeah, fuck her for being so gullible.
Damn, it's like if someone ever tells you that the word gullible isn't in the dictionary, just open it and be like, oh, you're right, it isn't. And then they look. You're like, oh, no way. You're like, ah, flip that around on you.
Yeah. So I think we're coming up on time, right?
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
good.
So I think we'll probably end it for now.
Yep.
I think it was a good
Mhm.
podcast.
Yeah.
I
Lots of
progressively
laughs.
got more and more sick
Yeah.
as the podcast went on.
That's cool. That's cool.
Take some medicine, bro.
Take some.
Don't tell me what to do.
Drink some water.
Right.
I want to party with the 80s and the 90s kids of the 90s and the 80s.
I feel like there's parties, like 80s themed parties already.
Oh, for sure. And 70s.
that's
theme.
so lame. I wanna party with the yuppie scum of the 80s, and I want to party with the like nasty grungy kids of the 90s.
The grunge.
The grunge.
Hello, welcome to my grunge party.
Why are they Swedish?
There she is, please.
Hello.
Yes, hello, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to my Grinch party.
As you can see here, we have plenty of Grinch to go around.
I like the Grinch.
Just turned into us making fun of Swedish.
Yeah.
Hello, would you like
Bring
to
it
try
to
our Swedish
monetize.
fish?
Welcome to the Grinch party. In your shoes, please.
You know, before we end this, people in Europe and like all these like countries like Finland, Sweden, Denmark. Is Denmark a country or is that a city? Fuck it, whatever. Doesn't matter.
We're Americans, we don't know.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
They have all these weird foods.
Oh yeah.
Like-
Like blood soup.
Yeah. Or like they
Or
have
like
this
eel, like
fermented
eel.
shark called Hakaro.
Blech.
And yeah, it's disgusting. And they're like, we eat this food so often. It's like, why? How?
It's a delicacy.
What's that
Yeah.
one like German thing? It's like super stinky. Or I don't know if it's German.
Felt.
Ramen?
I think so.
Is it the fish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like people open it and they're like,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I think that's Finnish.
Isn't it felt?
Finnish?
Like
Okay.
FELT?
Somewhere in that.
I'm so uneducated.
It's Eastern European. I know that much.
All I know is doing donuts and drinking beer.
I was gonna say something else, but I'd rather not.
Yeah, we're my cousin, that's right.
Yeah, that's exactly what
La
I was gonna
única
say.
cosa que sé es que me gusta la cerveza.
Sorry, but I don't speak Mexican.
No hablo en español English.
All right. Okay, I think this is a good time to end it.
Yeah.
So this is our third It's our third podcast of Pointless Conversations. Thank you for joining us. Hope you'll tune in again. Next week, things might go back to normal. They
Yeah.
should go back to normal. CJ will be here. And yeah,
I won't.
Yeah.
Be here.
maybe you'll be here next time or some other time.
Oh wait, you know what?
Charles
I
will
passed
be
my driving
dead.
Test.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
We need to find
Oh,
a
gross.
space for you on this table.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
a
just
small table.
sit with my back to the camera.
Oh, Dylan driving update. I still can't drive. That'll be a new segment at the end of the episode. I'll let you guys know on my
Your status?
Oh yeah.
my status.
And Dylan
Today, still can't drive.
Permit.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah, all of us can't drive. So
I'm the closest.
Squad.
I'll be leaving you guys soon.
but yeah, share us with whoever, whether if they'd find this interesting.
Yeah, we appreciate all the support we can get. Spread the word.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Please ask us questions at askrandompark
Yes, do.
at Gmail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm not going to
Follow
read out the YouTube
us on
URL.
socials.
yeah, because it's too long.
Yeah.
It's on the. I think it's on the Instagram or something.
Yeah. So everything.
Random Park.
If you're watching this on YouTube, everything is going to be linked in the description. If you're, it's the only place the video is going to be posted. Otherwise, it's going to be SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm good.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.